Hi, welcome to the White Guy Show. I'm Whitey, and today I'm going to review a film called. Oh my God, I'm staying in. I'm going to review a film called The 13th Floor, which came out in 1999. And I hate to do this to you, but I can't really discuss this film without spoilers. I can't make it make sense. And it seem like, I'm going to go see that without spoilers. So I will get to a point where I'll say, now I'm doing spoilers. If you're interested in the film, I'll go check it out because this is a good movie, which is why I'm reviewing it. Again, it came out in 1999, and it's directed by Joseph Rusnik, and it's got Vincent D'Onofrio, who's awesome, Craig Bierko, who you've probably seen, maybe you don't know his name. Gretchen Mall's been in a bunch of stuff. Armand Mueller-Stahl, who's been in a bunch of things, you'd know him if you see him, and Dennis Haysbert, who is the Are You in Good Hands Allstate guy. So the film begins. Greg Bierko is coming back from a business trip from I don't remember where to like New York or something. I don't remember where. It's not really relevant. And at one point, there's like blood on his clothes, and he doesn't know where it came from. And you find out he's a computer guy, a software designer, or a something, who's working with Armand Mueller-Stahl, who's an old Russian guy or something. He's got a European accent of some nature. He's in his 60s, and they've been working on some kind of new computer thing. And this is 1999, where people were really just getting a hold of personal computers and things like hard drives and motherboards, and 64-bit versus 32-bit was all, whoa. Nobody knew what that meant, or very few people anyway. So they're working on some kind of computer thing, and the old guy is turns out Greg Bierko plays Doug Hall. Doug Hall finds out the old guy he's been working with has been murdered, and he doesn't know how. But he gets a phone call, Holmes has been killed. And then he's looking at, like, he's got blood on his clothing and stuff. And he's like, did I have something to do with this? I don't remember this happening. I don't know. I lost time, and I don't remember how I got home. So he goes to the lab, I guess, or goes to the building on the 13th floor, and talks with Vincent D'Onofrio, who's a very skinny, long-haired Vincent D'Onofrio. And not familiar, Vincent D'Onofrio was in Full Metal Jacket as Private Pile, a big overweight dude, and a lot of recent stuff he's put the weight back on. This was in his skinny phase. He was skinny. Very likable, energetic, concerned about other people character. Greg Bierko seems like your usual protagonist, a very normal, relatable guy. And as you find out, they are working on a simulation in which it's kind of like 3D or something. You can strap into this machine, and it sends you into a simulation, and the year they selected to create, it's like 1937, or it's not like, it is the year 1937, and you walk around and it feels real. At one point they say the color's a little off, but the characters seem like real people, and you can walk around in a different period of time and experience it as though it's real. Okay, that's what they're working on. And then it's Doug Hall and Vincent D'Onofrio's character. They're working together, and the old timer again was the guy in charge. It was his idea, and he set the time period because that's when he was a kid. And again, this came out in '99. Doug Hall gets a visit from Dennis Haysbert, who's a detective and who's investigating this murder. Shortly thereafter, he gets but he doesn't. He's like concerned because did I do this? I don't know what the hell happened here. And then Gretchen Mall shows up, who claims to be the daughter of the old guy who got killed. Who, even though Doug has known the old guy for years, he's never met his daughter before and didn't know he had one, kind of thing. And so Doug is now trying to figure out what happened to his boss and his friend and colleague. So even though it's not in this like prototype phase, it's not ready yet. It's not safe. This simulation is gonna zap into your brain. He decides to go into the simulation, and when you're in the simulation, there's a you in the simulation that you're gonna walk around as. Looks like you, talks like you, sounds like you. So he's gonna go into the simulation and find the old guy's character or profile or whatever. I forget if they give a name to it. He's going to go find that old guy who got killed in the simulation to see if maybe that character, if you will, knows something about the murder. When he gets there, he runs into Vincent D'Onofrio's character, who is now in real life in '99. He's got long hair. Here he's got short cut blonde hair, and the guy in 1999 is a really nice, friendly guy. The guy in the simulation's got like this dark, ominous presence to him. He works, the Vincent D'Onofrio character in the simulation works at a hotel. He's the dude, getting you your drinks and not a porter. I don't know what his function is, job title. But the old guy left Doug a letter, and Vincent D'Onofrio's character in the simulation gives him the letter. Then he comes out of the simulation and starts interacting with Gretchen Mol and is again trying to figure out what happened to his boss, who got murdered. There's then intrigue. Another guy shows up who Doug ends up killing in like a self-defense situation. He's got the detective all over him. He keeps going in the simulation. He's trying to find clues, what happened, and it's a real fun movie because you don't know what's going on. You're trying to figure out what's happening, and the acting is the film looks solid, competently directed by whoever I said, Joseph Rusnik. I think I'm saying that right. And so it's competently directed, looks good. Not a lot by way of effects, very practical. The story is interesting. It's engaging. It brings you in. But the best part of this film, without question, is the performances. Without these actors, it's not a great film. They really bring the characters to life, and they all get to play in the story you're following in 1999, and then another character in the simulation in 1937. And to watch, Vincent D'Onofrio gives off both characters he's playing. It's fantastic, but especially the character in the simulation is this dark, ominous guy who goes psycho, basically at one point, and is trying to kill the Doug character with a pistol. What Doug finds out in the simulation is if you get shot in the simulation, it hurts like a mofo. And then if you die in a simulation, you're dead in real life, I guess, something to that effect. I don't even know how this film did. I stumbled across it on HBO many years ago. Really liked it. It's a fantastic film. The downside to this movie is it came out at the same time as The Matrix, which was huge, and it's got a very similar premise to The Matrix. Totally different feeling movies. This is theater on film. Matrix is action and shoot 'em up. This is performance driven and to an extent writing driven. I really like the 13th Floor, and I can't say too much more about it without spoiling. So, I don't think I sold it too well, but if you're watching this and you're going, hey, he says it's good, I'll go check it out. Now's the time to do that, because it's what happens at the end of the film that brings the whole thing together. And if you stop watching the last 20 minutes, it's going to be a middle and it's kind of interesting. The ending of the film is when it becomes profound. And I can't sell this film without explaining the ending. It can't be done. So, any interested in the 13th Floor? Pause, go find and watch right now, because I'm about to spoil the film. Even if I did, if you go watch it and you've got any taste in movies, you're probably still going to like this film, because, again, some fantastic performances. So, go watch it now. 3, 2, 1. No, I'm going to spoil the film. So what turns out, and it gets kind of trippy, is that whereas in 1999, Doug and his buddies created this simulation, unbeknownst to them, in the future, somebody else has created a simulation, and they are characters in the simulation as well. So just when you go back to the 1937, those people think they're real, even though they're computer characters, they're almost like NPCs in an MMORPG. You know, they walk, they talk, they have jobs, they have incomes, all that stuff. Turns out that's what your main character and his buddies have been doing the same thing. They're in a simulation. And so what happens is the people that created the simulation in a non-specific future, the Doug, just as again, Vincent D'Onofrio has his character in 1999, but then he's absent to a character he's walking around in 1937. Somebody's absent to these guys. And so the Doug character, the lead character, a dude has zapped into his character in the simulation in 1999, and he's walking in and is going around killing people. And so when somebody zaps into you, you have no memory of it, and then you wake up and how the hell did I get here? And so the guy that zapped into him killed his boss. I don't recall that they ever explained why. He just, when he started doing this, it's a simulation. So he's like, I wonder what it's like to kill a guy. Pow! And he's like, this is fun. His only explanation was, it's fun. It's fun to kill people. And it kind of messed him up, and he became a sick psychopath. Gretchen Mol has zapped in as well, and I forget her mission anymore. With something, she's there to help. I forget what. With a point of kind of like how Greg Bierko's gone into the sim, she's going into the sim, into the 1990s sim. I don't freaking remember. But it's allegorical. Very much like the Matrix, you're living in a simulation, and then there's the world outside of the simulation. And so it's what's happening literally, but then it's what it's saying about society, that we're all walking, like, borders aren't real, the money isn't real. You know, the what we're being presented by the media is all propaganda and nonsense, and it has that theme. Unfortunately, for the film, again, The Matrix came out and slaughtered it. There was a film that came out around the same time, 98, I think, called When Trumpets Fade, which is an excellent World War II film that was directed by Peter Weir, and about the fighting in what was called the Hurtgen Forest, which was right on the border of Germany, and it was an absolute bloodbath, and the film has that, and it's got Zach Worth in it and a bunch of really good actors. But at the same time, Saving Private Ryan came out, and blew this. Nobody heard of this film because Saving Private Ryan was so huge, and they were both World War II epics. So even though, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. Even though When Trumpets Fade, which is a good go check that film out as well. You never heard of it. Why Private Ryan was so huge. Why have you never heard of 13th Floor? The Matrix was so huge and is very similar themed. But this is again a more down to earth. There's some action and excitement, but that's to get you to point A to point B in the plot. It's really, again, it's characters. It's character driven. The acting is the it. Greg Bierko, and I'm telling you, you might not have heard his name, but I guarantee if you watch movies, you've seen him in stuff. I'll read off a few things. He was in Cinderella Man. He was the bad guy boxer in that movie. Danielle Steele, Scary Movie 4, Scary Movie 5, Long Kiss Goodnight, Unreal. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Everything he's done, I've seen, he's really good. He's really likable. You get it, like a Tom Cruise without all the actions, or a good DiCaprio film. You fall in with this guy, and you want to know what happens next. And you want to know what happens to this guy. He does a really good job of pulling you in. And then when he plays the evil version of himself, he does that very well. And he's in the elevator coming down. The bad guy zaps into his character again, I guess. And you see that switch. No effects, no nothing. It's all performance. It's all in the eyes. It's all in the facial mannerisms and stuff, the idiosyncrasies. And again, you're on board. Vincent D'Onofrio crushes it. Everybody in here does a really good job. Gretchen Mol is hot, hot, hot young lady. She does a really good job in this film. She's a fantastic actress. Armand Muller-Stahl, if you've seen him. You will see him. Oh, that guy, Dennis Haysbert. And then Leon Rippey's in here. Oh, who's Leon Rippey? Jane's lawyer. Huh. I have to watch this again. After that, it's a bunch of nobodies. But again, the 13th floor. I just told you what happened. It turns out they're in a simulation. Oh, but so at one point, Vincent D'Onofrio's bad guy character intercepts the letter that was meant for Greg Bierko, left by his boss in the simulation. And Vincent D'Onofrio goes driving through the country like his boss has told Douglas to do, the lead, and he finds that once you get to a certain point, there's no more beyond. So he realizes he's in a simulation as well, and it gets really interesting because he then somehow comes back to 1999 from 1937 with Greg Bierko. And I don't even know what happens to the good guy version of him. He just kind of isn't there anymore. But at the same time, he murdered the boss and is trying to kill Doug. He's a villainous guy. You also kind of feel bad for him because he realizes his whole world is bullshit. It doesn't exist, and he's looking at 1990 going, "This is amazing. You guys are gods." And then Greg Bierko's going, "No, it's not. We're fake, just like you." It's a trip, man. It's a really good philosophical kind of thing. So I can ruin it for you, like I just did, but it's still really good. So I would definitely, if you enjoy good performances, you enjoy well-written films, well-directed films, you like the more the art, you don't need titties and explosions for everything. You can enjoy a good art film. This is it. This is a good film for you. So go check out the 13th Floor. Give that a view, and then I'll review it. I think I have before in the past already reviewed again. When Trumpets Fade. It's another really good film to go watch. So that's it for me on this The White White Guy show. If you're new here, good to have you here. If you're back, welcome back. If you're not familiar, I should have done this at the beginning. I do retro video game reviews. I got a whole platoon of old school Super Nintendo games sitting here. Got regular Nintendo, Xbox 360 I do. So movie reviews, retro video game reviews, some unboxings. I'm thinking of doing a bikini haul. I weigh 270 pounds. It might be hysterical. We might vomit. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Maybe. Let me know if you're interested. And so that's what I got going on here. So if you like this review, check out my other ones. I'll see you, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what to do. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.